Hello, hello, and welcome to Big Conversations with T. It's Saturday, April 22nd. April 22nd, that's right. And it's Earth Day today. I want to say hello and welcome again for joining us. It's been a whole month, and we are just so blessed and happy to be back. We have a show for you tonight. We have a conversation with Dr. Love Nwigwe. She made a film, I Cannot Breathe, I Can't Breathe. And we'll be talking about a film in a little bit. At 7 o'clock, we have two Black leaders from the University of Alberta. They attended a conference with the Deputy Premier recently, and they're here. They will be here to tell us all about it. We have Ty and Dotu's regular session with Your Money, Your Finances. That is at 7:30, and Giselle is up at 8 o'clock with Edmonton, just from the city of Edmonton. At 8:30, we have mental health with Mary Noah. We have a full evening, ladies and gentlemen. I want to say thank you so very much for joining us. So we hope you stay right till the end of our show tonight. So without much ado, I'm going to introduce our guest. She's Dr. Love in Wabudo Nwigwe. She was born in Nigeria and raised in Italy. She now lives in Canada. She is the writer, director, and producer of the award winning short movie on racial discrimination, I Can't Breathe, funded by the Tell Us Story Hive. She's a quality driven and accountable person, very passionate about the creative arts, writing movies and creating dramas, documentaries, fashion shows, creative activities that can engage people's imagination with cultural dance and drumming. She's the founder of Ugo Eze Production and BI Consulting Inc. She's based in Red Deer, and she's also the founder of International Women of Purpose Cultural Association. She joins us from Red Deer. Good evening, Dr. Love. Thank you so very much for doing this with us.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for having me here on your platform today. It is an honor to be here. Thank you. And I pray that you will increase in all your ways. Amen.
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 Amen. I feel so excited because I have never interviewed a filmmaker, and I feel so honored to do this tonight because it's something I've never done. So we're going to start by showing the trailer of your movie. So people who may have not seen it will get an opportunity to see what we're talking about. So bear with us. Let me do that straight away.
Thank you.
We are Peter's family. We come from a culture of love for family, for community. In this family, we value love.
Something has to change in our community.
Is whatever spices that they put in these African foods, it makes it smell so awful.
I'm not sick anymore.
No, this can't be happening.
Some said all the way from Zaria.
Thank you. I can't hear.
Oh, sorry, I muted myself. So
Okay.
I was just saying sorry about the extras there. And I was also saying that the first time I heard that, it moved me. You moved me. So what I'd like for you to, as we start, is to, whatever I missed from the introduction, please add. Because I know you're an academic. How did you transition into filmmaking? And what exactly inspired the movie?
Thank you very much. Yes, my profession is I have a Bachelor of Science in health and wellness, and then I have a master's in herbal medicine and a PhD in counseling. But I was inspired by the death of George Floyd. I know it's a bad thing, but we can use something bad that happens to us and create other people's deliverance or create awareness to the world to stop the hate. So, and because I'm a counselor, I hear a lot of stories of what happens to the people. People come to me for trauma, people come to me for healing, people come to me for self esteem, people come to me after being bullied. So when George Floyd died, I was so touched by that death. As a mother, I felt the pain that would be in the heart of his mom. I felt the pain that would be in the heart of his wife. And I felt the pain that would be in the hearts of his children. Then I felt the loss for the Black community, and I felt the injustice that is happening in the world we live up to 2023. But I didn't want to just let the pain go by not doing anything about it. And as a therapist, I always advise my clients to write down their pains. So, as the story of George Floyd was going on, I was in tears and I was writing different stories of the people that I've met, that have gone through different kinds of discrimination, and I've been through so much myself as well. So, but after writing, I decided to get some people together to come and act. But it didn't make sense to me at the time because I know filmmaking is very expensive, but the passion was so much the idea of just getting this out there, creating awareness, letting the world see what is going on, just so we can improve and heal in our community was so much that I decided to just go ahead and create a film with it. But I didn't have no funding. I didn't even know there was any possibility. But I thought about something. I know that as women spend so much money on we spend money on ourselves. It could be on Brazilian hair, it could be eyebrows, or all kinds of things. I thought about that. I was like, you know what? People do crazy things with money. Why don't I just create this with my money? So I got a filmmaker to come in and film just a few things of a pitch of 5 minutes. But in my head, I was still wondering, well, where is this for? What is this about? But the passion was there. I am a believer of the Holy Spirit. I'm a believer of the Word of God. So I feel that when there's so much passion, when something is not letting me go, I believe that it's an inspiration from God. So I decided to go ahead and create this 5 minutes pitch and just had it there for myself. I'll watch it and cry. I'll watch it and cry without knowing that there was going to be it was going to be of use to anybody. So it's just something that was birthed through the loss of an innocent soul who was killed for his skin color. And the theme, I can't breathe, is the last word he said before he died. I used it as the theme for the movie, knowing that it's the truth. It's just a revelation of the truth of racial discrimination in various aspects of life, in school, healthcare, playground. It's all over the place. And I know that up to today, many people have been labeled inappropriately and they have suffered different kinds of consequences. Just some have, other people also have been beaten to death due to misconception. Yeah, so it is for me is something like I wanted to clear a picture of the relationship between the black and the white community in the endeavor of the blacks to be part of the community where we have been trained, communities where we serve, where we pay tax into, where we are trying to belong, we're building, we're investing. But I really wanted to portray the unloving treatment that blacks receive simply because of their skin color. But the goal is not to criticize anybody, but it's just to create an awareness and bring healing into this relationship between black and white.
Mm. Thank you very much, Dr. Love. You said a lot of things there. And I wanted to ask you, there was a challenge for you also mentally. Why am I doing this? Why am I pouring a lot of my money into this? I want
Mhm.
to talk about the healing that has happened since you finished the filming.
The healing has happened as I've seen the birthing of this film. First of all, I didn't know it was going anywhere, but now I've seen that schools have invited me to use it for educative purposes. Different organizations have invited me to come and screen the film for their team, for their staff. It's being used to create awareness. And after screening, there's usually a platform for interviews where people ask questions on how do we get better. There's been a lot of repentance where people have come up, like leaders of the community, MLAs, mayors have come up to say sorry to the Black community. So seeing this, I can see healing is taking place and fulfillment is taking place as well in my heart, and I believe in the hearts of many. Thank you.
Dr. Love, thank you very much for that. Talking about healing, admitting it, I dare say, is a bit more multicultural in the sense that I quite often see more than a handful of Black people when I go to different places. You can go on 118, there are Black people there. In fact, anywhere you go in this city, you find Black people there in short. And I know Red there is mostly white. Now, I want to ask you to talk about how bad, show us what you see already there, because I know in very, very white communities, they're probably more advanced. There are more instances of, as you call it, racism. I'm not ignorant to say,
Mhm.
even though there are Black people here in Edmonton, there are more Black people in Edmonton than in Red Deer, that racism does not maybe happen here in Edmonton. I'm not saying that. I want you to take us into your world, how it's perceived, what you maybe heard during counseling and you're allowed to talk about. Could you tell us just a little bit more of what that divide looks like?
Thank you. Thank you for bringing it out. You see, there were two scenes in this film. There were four of them, and they were stories of things that happened in our community. Rough right there, because it's life. It's a film, but it's a life story. One that is there. It's in the daycare, and there was a story that happened in the daycare. It was a child. It was an Indian child in the daycare, and there was a Black teacher in the daycare as well. So this child had, I think there were just a few of them in that daycare, and the child pooped, and the teacher, the white teacher, didn't want to clean the child up. until a certain time, then she called the black teacher to come and clean the child. And the lady said that she has been noticing this been going on, but she didn't want to give it any weight. So each time they called her, she would go, until a day that she asked, but why are you not cleaning him like you clean the other ones? That was when this teacher spoke up and said, oh, because the food that they put, the food that the blacks eat are so spicy, and when their kids poop, the food will show in it, and it would be too stinky for her to bear. So this story was so painful to me again, and to show that there is no age gap in racism. Even a baby in the daycare, like 2 years, is already being discriminated against because of food. Yeah, so that is a true story that happened in our community. Another one there too in the film is about a 14-year-old girl that the parents brought her to me for counseling. She was just working out in the neighborhood, in the playground, and the police came. When they came, they asked her what she was doing there, and she was just, I'm just working out in my neighborhood, and she actually lived close to that place. So they told her that they received a phone call from the neighbors saying that there is a black girl running around because it's a wealthy people's zone where they don't expect blacks to live in. So they called the cops on her that they saw a black girl, and they lied to say that, oh, she was looking into cars that were parked. And the girl was like, no, I'm just walking out here. But we couldn't complete the full film because it was going to take a lot of money to finish it. So they took her and put her in the car. This kid was 17. And she was saying, oh, I didn't do anything. I didn't do anything. And they took her to her house because she was saying, I live in this neighborhood. So they took her to find out if she was lying, drove her. And you can imagine the trauma for the parents. You're just home, and the mom and the daughter is being brought home by the police. And what did she do? She was just working out in the neighborhood. So they brought her to me for therapy, and I put the story in the film. So these two stories are some of the things that we see in our community.
I'm sorry about that. I don't even know what to say. It's so repulsive to hear. It's uncomfortable to swallow. It's difficult to comprehend.
Yeah.
Kind of stuff. That poor girl and even the baby. I get when you're in grade one. In fact, can I even say I get when you're discriminated against in grade one, grade two? At least you have the language. But in nursery, in kindergarten, thank you for showing us the way. Thank you for putting it in a film. And I hope it goes deep into dealing with racism and unconscious bias in service providers, in the police, in people who work with minority groups, with children. So would you say when you started, would you say you received, I have a feeling we have to tell more of these stories. And my thing here is, would you say there is financial support to do more and more? Because that you finish the film does not mean the problem has stopped. So is there any plans? Are there any plans to maybe even do more films and tell more of these really, really heart-wrenching stories?
Yes, I have a lot of stories that I've written, and I would like to show, but it's difficult to get funding for films. as especially for us, like the blacks. When you check the film industry, is white dominated. Even in that industry, there's racism there, and globally there's racism in for female directors or writers. Then you're female, you're black, so there's a lot of challenge there. But I don't give up. I keep writing and I keep believing, I keep trusting that I will get funding to make more, because this film is just 17 minutes. And I like to get like a full length movie by the grace of God if I get funding. Yes.
Mhm. Okay,
Mhm.
so when you screen this in schools, what sort of questions do children ask you? What sort of response do you get from staff who may or may not be guilty of unconscious bias slash racism themselves? And I know we're all not the same. I don't want
Mhm.
to splash every organization with the mark or swipe of racism. We're all not the same. But what sort of response do you get when you film your films, when you screen your films?
Yeah, the first time I screened it, the red carpet, was in November. Screened it in Red Deer Cinema, and it was mind blowing because the theater was full and people were seated on the floor just to watch it. We had about 8 MLAs and 3 mayors attend. We had the Radio Polytechnics sent their representatives. We had the police. We had the Minister of Health. We had different sectors to attend the event, and they came. So the first time it was screened, many people were crying. um, to know that many people, like the teachers, were ashamed to know that this is what is going on in this community. And we did have question and answer sections. So some of the questions were how this is impacting the community and the economy of a community. And because there were lots of politicians that attended, and I did explain to them the danger is that this is affecting the growth of the community, because we have lots of professional people, and the blacks are highly educated. Many of us have been trained, because we know that's what we tell our kids, that you have to go to school, you have to train yourself, because that's the other people can get jobs easily, but we need to do more so we can be employed even. So I told them that this is affecting the economy, because when people are discriminated against, when they go to work, they are so stressed, they can't give in their best in a workplace when they know they are being discriminated against. You can imagine that teacher that day in the daycare, how she went home like broken, completely broken. And this is an effect it has on the economy of the community. Or people, maybe that kid that was discriminated against in the playground, you can imagine the effect it has on her. That's you're creating mental illness in the community, and these things are showing negative things happening, will not bring growth, and not bring growth. So these are some of the questions that I received. And in the day I did the screening for the community at the cinema. But then in the school, many students were crying, and they were asking, how can we stop this? And for me, in one of those schools, I have two actors in my film that were from that school. So they saw them when they watched the film. And they said, oh my goodness, so this is real. I know this girl. I said, yes. And one of them was even going through a lot of bullying in school. So the students did ask some questions of, oh, how can we make a change? How do we stop this? And I did speak to them and told them just creating awareness that you do to your neighbor that which you do to yourself. That's loving your neighbor as yourself. The color of a person's skin cannot be taken up against him or her. And I know that some Black kids that were there followed me when we finished. They followed me outside and they were concerned and they were saying, so now after we've watched this, so now what? Who's gonna? Nobody's defending us in this place. When you go, the story remains. So it triggered something in me, that kid's word. So I invited the parents, teachers, that attended the screening. I invited them for a meeting, and I told them that I would like to create anti-racism squad for my people, because I believe to be a voice for the voiceless. I believe that just like Esther, I am in this place for such a time as this, and I don't want to waste any minute that I'm here. I'm going to speak up. I'm going to defend the human rights, because this is not just about Blacks or whites. It is against human rights. We all live on this earth and we have right to exist. We have right to freely walk around, serve, study, work without being criticized. So these are some of the questions I got. I also had a very challenging and annoying question from someone, because they're not always going to be asking good questions. Someone asked and said, oh, there's so much good going on with you guys in this community. Why are you showing the bad? And of course, I was expecting it. If you're a storyteller or you are working with the public, you should be ready to receive both good and bad questions. So I did tell her that, yes, there are so many good things happening around us, but this film is about racial discrimination. Is not about showing the good things that is happening around us. And every good thing that is happening around us, we have worked for. Whatever a white person does to get a score to walk through easily, for Blacks, you have to work 2 or 4 times to get there. So I was letting her know that whatever it is that is good happening around us, nothing has been given to us for free. We have worked hard to even get interviews. We've worked hard to pass the schools, because I have films to show about what is going on in the schools, in the universities, in high institutions in the area of racism. So those were some of the questions I got and the answers I gave. Thank you.
Thank you very, very much, Dr. Love. It's refreshing that the film is serving as an outreach, as a medium to impact change. And I like the urgency when you say now. That's
Mhm.
why I'm here for a time like this.
Yes.
And I'm sure it's a weapon. And I like when you say, I like when you say we appreciate the good, but we must also talk about the bad.
Mhm.
And this idea that because I'm Black, I have to work 4 times, 10 times
Mhm.
better is the
Mm-hmm.
truth.
Mm-hmm.
20 years ago, it's still the same today.
Mm-hmm.
And we talk about it so it's a bit easier on our
Mm-hmm.
children. I know I've taken you, we are coming to the end of this. I just have two questions. Is there hope then for Black filmmakers? You described the struggle of funding, trying to get funding in a wide dominated,
Excuse
in
me.
a, Mhm.
Yeah. Yes. Oh, yes. I'm having a meeting. I'm in a meeting right now. Mhm. Sorry about that. I was interrupted by
It's
the
okay. I want to
reception.
say thank you. I know you're out there in Calgary, you are doing some
Yes.
conferences,
Yes.
you're you're at work pretty much, and you've taken some valuable time to
Yes.
join. So this is the last question.
Mm-hmm.
Um, could you reflect on the hope really for young Black people, old people, anybody who's Black who wants to get into the film industry? It's traditionally been a white dominated industry. It's difficult to get funding. It's, I think, not prioritized. Where is the hope? And I also wanted you to leave us with some encouraging words for people who watch the film and they are distraught. Like, is there hope in our institutions for our children? Is there hope in this city in Canada for the next generation? Where do we find inspiration? Where do we find hope? And what would you like to leave us with?
Thank you. So I want to say that yes, it's difficult to get funding to do films. Um, but as I said, don't give up. When you have passion, don't give up. Write it down. The vision is set for an appointed time. If it is for a just cause, there will be a way. God will make a way for you. But don't give up if you have that passion. Keep pushing, keep searching. I didn't know my film was going to be selected because it's controversial. It is, I'm making this film in the white people's land, and it's something that is not really, they don't want you to talk about these things. But I know it's for a just cause, and I did it, and it's been honored. Look, it's been awarded in the United States by the grace of God. Next month, I'm going to Paris. It's receiving an award in Paris, and it's even going to Festival of Cannes, which is the greatest accreditation after Hollywood in the film industry. So be encouraged. Don't give up. Just keep pushing. As I said, I'm still pushing and looking for somebody that will bring funding to create the full film. And for our next generation, asking if there is hope for us, what's going on. The thing, I believe in people like Nelson Mandela had to speak up to get freedom for South Africa. Martin Luther King had to speak up. I believe that we do need to get some new Martin Luther Kings in this generation. If we want to make changes, we cannot back up. We cannot be intimidated by what we see out there. The more we are, the better it is. Because I know that things happen and people shovel it under the carpet and just say, oh, don't say anything so you don't lose your job. They said it to me in the higher institution when people were being marked, when I saw blacks were being marked down, and they told me, oh, don't talk about it. If you talk about it, they will fail you. And I did speak about it, and I challenged the teacher. And things changed for the blacks. So don't keep hiding. Let's speak up, create an awareness in the world that we are living in, just so they can hear our cry. The more we are, that are talking about these things, the brighter future we are creating for the children. One day, these children will ask us the roles we played in their lives. It's not enough to pay their school fees. It's not enough to buy them phones and video games to make them happy. The best thing we can do for our children or for the next generation is to create a better future for them. And as King Martin Luther said, that it's always a good time to do something good and to make a change. And that time is now. Thank you.
My body is on fire. Like you set me on fire, Dr. Love. Like that's the kind of, yeah, you're so emotive, and it's the kind of language, it's the kind of what I want to hear to take us to the next level. Dr. Love, I want to say a big thank you. We met a couple, was it last week, a couple of weeks ago at the Africa Center SBCCI conference, and I knew you were a powerful woman to meet, and I'm honored that you took the time out. And I know this weekend is very busy for you, and you're out in Calgary, touching lives, counseling, and making a difference. I want to say congratulations on behalf of LCC Media for the European Awards. You're going to Paris to get say see Paris and die. You're not dying. You're coming back alive. Thanks for representing Red Deer. Thank you for representing Nigerians. Thank you for representing Canadians. Thank you for shining the light. We will hold on to your words. And I know when you do your next project, I know money will roll to you. I know you're going to find out that you need to keep being a filmmaker of note in this country. So Dr. Law, we say thank you. We're going to let you go. But for those people who may have not seen the preview, I'm going to play it again. I Can't Breathe. When can people see the entire 70 minutes, Dr. Love? When can we see it all? Mm-hmm.
It's on YouTube. It's I Can't Breathe. So you can
the entire 70 minutes.
Yes. It's on YouTube. Telos Optic TV is on the paid channel of Telos, and it's going to the aircrafts, it's going to the ships, it's going to different platforms. Yes.
Amen. Congratulations, Dr. Love. Thank you very much. Okay, so we'll let you go. And for those who've not seen the trailer, you heard Dr. Love. Make sure you go, lay your hands on this, buy it if you must. It's on YouTube for free. And subscribe to Dr. Love's channel. If you are watching, please subscribe to Ladies Corner channel as well. All right. So thank you very much, Dr. Love. Please enjoy the rest of your time in Calgary.
Thank you for having me. Have a blessed rest of your evening. Thank you
very much. Thank you so very much for your time tonight. Thank you.
Family. We come from a culture of love for family, for community. In this family, we value love.
Something has to change in our community.
Is whatever spices that they put in these African foods, it makes it smell so awful.
I'm not sick anymore.
No. This can't be happening.
Stop sharing. Thank you very, very much, Doctor. Okay. All right. That's live TV for you. We're really grateful for Dr. Love's time on our show tonight. We've learned so much on our work, about our work. And if you would like more information, I Can Breathe is on Telos Optic. It's on YouTube, the entire 17-minute movie. Lay your hands on it. Let's support Dr. Love as a community. Let us show we know what she's doing is important. It matters. And the way you can make it matter is subscribe to our channel, share with your friends and families, and have relevant conversations. around the content, around anti-racism, because truly, if we say we are not affected by anti-racism, we lie. Everyone is affected by racism, So let's be anti-racism agents, okay? Let's join Mayor Soyi, who said he wants to make Edmonton an anti-racist city. When we come back,